Okay, here is Overload, and we have not come up with a good barn name yet for him, so we're still just clocking along with Overload, which is not a great barn name, but nonetheless, here he is. He's a 16 and a half hand, 6-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Corfu, and I'm probably not saying that wrong, so apologies if I'm not, but that is a Malibu Moonline, and I've not had one yet by this direct sire, but always a fan of the Malibu Moonlines. They tend to be, better than average movers and very sporty. And obviously, they have been extremely successful at eventing, particularly at the upper levels of eventing. And this kid, to me, is most definitely a better than average mover. He is travels across the ground just absolutely lovely. And of course, the trot is very nice, and the trot is wonderful for taking pictures and all of those nice things. But his canter is especially nice. And one thing that really stood out to me about him today, and this is his very first post track ride, is his canter transitions are just so unbelievably balanced and correct, and really, really lovely horse. Super talented just right from the get out of the first post track ride. So anyway, let me back up again. He's out of a Malibu Moonline, and he's out of a Perfect Soul mare. He's 6. He ran 28 times, which for a 6-year old actually is not very much. It's probably like a little bit on the lower end of average. He made $100,000 as a racehorse, and he just ran on June 3rd. So he's very, very right off the track. I'm actually not very familiar with his connections, but a good friend of mine in Ohio who connects me with a lot of lovely horses is. That was such a lovely canter transition, and that's his first one that I've asked him for, so just so good. But anyway, a good friend of mine in Ohio is very familiar with his connections and told me that they're very good people, so that was great to hear. And so he's been here since sometime last week, and he settled in really nicely, and he's just a good dude. I mean, the horse is just super easy and pleasant to work around on the ground. He's been wonderful on cross ties, leading in and out, tacking, grooming, bathing, all that stuff. No big deal. Super sweet and friendly type of horse. And then this is his first post track ride, and he was excellent. I mean, there's always a lot for them to sort of see and process and take in on their first ride, and he was so good. Obviously he's a lovely mover. I want to get him a little bit softer and rounder in the connection just so he can better access his top line, because then he'll actually move even better. But that will come very easily for him. He wants to be a very soft round horse. He gave me a couple of spectacular little moments today, but he really needed today to sort of just take everything in and process what was going on. And so we'll get back to clocking on that later this week. Unfortunately, he was in his racing plates when he came, and I did think that they looked a little loose. And then obviously he's quite a big mover, and at some point today he twisted one of the front shoes. I actually didn't notice it. It happened at some point during this ride, but when I got off, I of course saw it, so we had to pull it off. So my farrier will be here sometime this week. We'll get him fixed up. He'll get a proper set of steel shoes on, and then we'll get back to work. But I thought that this was a very excellent first post track ride. He was just absolutely super, not a mean bone in this horse's body, absolutely wants to do all the things, better than average mover, super canter, great transitions. One mistake that I made today was when we were cantering to the left, I did not ask him to trot. He sort of I lost the outside shoulder, we lost the balance a little bit, and he fell out of the canter, which I regretted letting him do, because then later when we were going to the right, he again wanted to just sort of fall out of the canter in a moment when it got tough. So then I had to sort of correct it and get him to jump back up into the canter, because I don't want to teach these guys that it is okay to just fall out of the canter when you're a little bit tired or it gets a little bit tough. They've got to learn that they keep cantering until you ask them to not be cantering anymore. So I've got to be more diligent about that. But I mean, I think if that's my only regret from this ride, it was pretty darn good ride. My mom was not here today, so it was just me and Billy. So he, of course, stood with him at the mounting block since it was the first time I've gotten on him. So there's no video of the mounting block, but he was excellent, and he has no weirdness there. So I will certainly be getting on him by myself next time. This horse has a great head. It is just a head with some presence and a very wise, kind eye, and I just really like it. His face has a lot of expression to it, a lot of character. And here I am just riding him in a full cheek Snapple with a peanut. Might try a loose ring next time, we'll see. He's very ambidextrous in the sense that he really doesn't favor one direction over the other, which for a 6-year-old is actually very impressive because usually at this point, they've been racehorses for quite a while and they've learned that, whichever way they find easier is definitely easier, but actually not the case for him. He's very even left to right. He had no problems picking up either canter, both were equally balanced, and so that's always a great position to find yourself in. And Billy picked him up from Ohio and said that he was excellent to load, super on the trailer. Look at that wonderful canter transition. What a good boy. And today in Maryland, it's in the mid 90s, so it's very warm. And for sure, it's not like this ride was terribly long, but for sure he's getting tired. So I kind of felt like I'm mean when I made him get back into the canter, but only for another couple of seconds, and just so that he would learn that actually it's not just the way we do things that we just fall out of the canter whenever we're feeling kind of tired. So here, I'm asking him to canter again, but I can feel that the balance is wrong and we're going to pick up the left lead. So I just paused a beat to reconfigure, and then he picked up the right lead again. Super good boy. And so now I'm thinking, like, obviously this horse is, tired, it's hot. We're just going to make a point to canter for like 15, 20 more seconds, and then he's going to get to be done. Super good boy. So then the last minute or so is just him on cross ties, and this horse is so in your pocket, wants to talk to you the whole time. He's just super friendly, sweet horse to be around. I've not seen him make a mean face yet at anything for any reason. He's been really good on the ground. Oh, and he just absolutely loved treats of all sizes, sorts, and varieties. He has no problems with eating.